So, in terms of governance, there are at least 3 states with government worse than my own. I'm in Connecticut. New Jersey is one of those 3. Last month, New Jersey failed to stop the militant leftists from imposing an LGBT curriculum on New Jersey's public school students. The curriculum for LGBT begins as early as 4th grade. This confuses kids, this offends parents, and it imposes extra burdens on teachers. Burden 1, and this is maybe the most minor of them, that they have to learn new curricula. Burden 2, a little more major, they have to explain why the sexuality of a historical figure is important. And the biggest burden is that teachers now will have to cope with myriad sensitivities and even classroom rights that students will impose. By the way, it's not really students so much as the adult militant progressives that egg them on. Here's one burden. I'm quoting from New Jersey North website. Is it appropriate for schools to brand social activist Jane Addams a lesbian because she had relationships with women? Here's my answer. No, we don't brand anyone based on who they were attracted to. And mainstream society never did. It is a distortion of history. Fooling students is not the mission of public schools. New Jersey's whole curriculum regarding LGBT could be summed up, I think, in 4 sentences. Then we go back to teaching. My 4 sentences. Here's your curriculum. Ready? Most Americans at one time were intolerant of homosexual relationships. 2, many gay people felt repressed by this intolerance. 3, the military, the courts, and some other government organization struggled with this. 4, Americans are much more tolerant now. There's your history. To learn more about accomplishments of homosexual Americans, see Wikipedia. The school will now continue teaching about historical figures without regard to who shared their bedroom. How hard is that? And how fair is that? It is treating everybody equally, no matter what their sexual orientation. Isn't what the originators of the LGBT rights movement wanted. And look at their success. How tolerant are we now? Very. Except for a few very devout and very imposing on others people. Okay, I think this is like 5% of the nation. Except for them, nobody cares who you're attracted to, who you sleep with. That imposed devoutness, again, probably 5% of Americans. By the way, one of the major battles for gay legal rights was Colorado's Amendment 2, 1994-5. But it will be very remarkable if that fight over the protected status for gays makes it into New Jersey's curriculum. Why? That's because 2 of Colorado Amendment 2's opponents were quite heroic. Martina Navratilova and Gigi Fernandez, former tennis stars and openly proud lesbians. But they are not progressive Democrats. Folks, the argument for including some, none, or all of the strident gay activists' curriculum is really a great argument for choice in schools. Let parents choose what publicly funded school they wish. Those who are repulsed by exposing 5th graders to sexuality in the guise of political history, they can go to a different school or even form their own in the same place. Those who want the LGBT curriculum in front of their kids each week can do so, and can do so unimpeded by the rest of us. What you want most, choice in schools gives. I'm Mark Stewart.